Specifically today, I want to talk about Shoal Creek flooding over onto the Beverly Sheffield Park. But that wasn't necessarily a bad thing, right?
No, as a lot of people in the area realized, we had a really powerful storm that swept through and dropped quite a bit of rain in a very short amount of time, and a lot of drainage went there. A lot of the water made its way to Shoal Creek, and as a lot of people observed, as it got to the park there, it started flowing into the park. But that was by design, and it's one of the flood protection measures that the city constructed in response to a really significant flooding event that area experienced in 1981. The first Memorial Day flood that the city had.
Walk me through the specifics of, when flooding happens, when it rains a lot, what like level would Shoal Creek have to reach to it then flood over into that park?
So it starts to rain. Water hits the ground and starts accumulating in creeks. So you think about, I think the rainfall event that we saw that engaged the spillway at the park, or the water going into the park. We had about 2.5 inches in a really short time. So think about all the area that water will eventually flow into Shoal Creek, got 2 inches of rain. And so that's a pretty significant amount of volume of water. And so all that water starts flowing down the creek, and we measured in cubic feet per second, which is, if you can imagine, a basketball running, every second. That's 1 cubic foot. The event that we saw this week, there was about 4,600 cubic feet per second flowing in Shoal Creek. So if you can imagine, 4,600 basketballs going through the creek every second. That was the volume of water that we saw going through there. Now, the spillway that connects the creek to the park, to the detention pond, that was designed to engage in what we call the 10-year flooding event, or the 10% annual chance flood, which for our area, depending on how much rain falls in a certain duration of time, but the general, like, in a 24-hour sense, it's usually, if we had a rainstorm event where we saw, throughout the whole day, about 7 inches of rain. Now, sometimes that gets engaged a little bit, with less rain, if the rain's a lot more intense and happens in a really fast time, and that response time of the watershed really dictates when that gets engaged. But that's generally what we would look at, is about a 10-year event, is when water starts flowing out of the creek and into the park.